Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Free Exchange of Ideas. So, this is going to be a little off the cuff because I'm honestly not sure how much I've spoken on this before. But, so today is uh, January 15. It is caucus in Idaho. I'm sorry, Iowa. Not to mix up the two stations or states. All right, so I'm going to go back and then I'm going to go a little forward. Here in California, when 2 years ago, when we were trying to recall the governor because he's a lying thief, he said we were $1 billion in the black. That's important because everybody knew at that point that we were not $1 billion in the black, meaning that we had a surplus of $1 billion in our coffers. After he survived the recall effort, then he said we were $1 billion in the red. So we lost $2 billion in like a couple of month period, at least on paper. Now, currently, we are $68 billion in the red. I don't even know how you get there. If I was in the red in my home that deep, meaning it's several percentage points of our income, and there was no way for me to make it up, I would probably be in jail or at the very least under indictment and not be able to pay any of my bills. I'd lose my house, I'd lose my car, my wife would lose her car, my mother-in-law would lose her car, and we'd still be in the red. Now, Governor Newsom with the new budget says we're only $38 billion, only $38 billion in the red. He has used simple and complex accounting tricks to hide $30 billion. Now, let me make something really, really clear because I am an accountant student. I was an accountant student and I did work in the accounting industry for a short period of time. I just found it boring. But to understand what he's done is he has pulled in some resources and said, okay, we have to write these off and this will take some of our burden away, some of our tax burden as a state of California. It won't. It just hides it a little bit. It pushes it off. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that we are not still $68 billion in debt. The state of California, which is, according to Newsom, the third or fourth largest economy on the planet, is $68 billion in debt. That is only a couple of $100 billion less than the United States debt. And that sounds like a lot, but we're talking a state versus the entire nation. And you don't get that by making accounting tricks. Now, we are, without a doubt, $68 billion in debt. Number two, sorry about that. I was going the wrong way. The governor and several legislators have written legislation to cause everyone in the state of California, 350 million of us. I'm sorry, that's not right. 3.5 million of us. No, that can't be right either. I don't know. It's a stupid high number. Oh no, I guess it is 350 million. We're about 10% of the nation's populace ish. So he's told all of us that we have to give up our gas appliances and go all electric. That would be okay if, two reasons, if our infrastructure could support it. It cannot. Not with the rise in electric vehicles. And I wish I could find that. I just saw a little blurb. I guess it was a short, probably, or a TikTok of a guy talking about how much it costs to charge his vehicle, his Tesla, from 0 to 100%, I guess, at a public charging station. And it is a stupid amount of money and a stupid amount of kilowatt hours, not minutes, hours, kilowatt hours to charge it from 0 to 100%. And at that price, now, and now think about this. Now he's at a public charging station, but then he says, also, I have a charging station at my home. At my home, it costs a wee bit less, not very much less, but I do that every night. I plug my car in every night, and it costs me a ton of money. It's not free. The car itself is the only green piece of the entire process because it takes rare earth minerals to make the battery, the lithium ion battery for the car. In order to get those rare earth minerals, we have to dig the crap out of the earth, like coal. It looks very much like a coal mine. A coal, I don't know what you call it. It's a freaking mine. Anyway, it looks just like that. And it takes those kind of heavy duty equipment, earth movers and pile drivers, and using a ton of dynamite to dig out holes, that by the time your Tesla dies, which I think is around 110 or 120,000 miles without superb work, it costs more than 10 F-150s. More than 10 F-150s, which run around $100,000 now, the fully loaded ones. Gasoline-powered ones with the V6, with the turbo V6. It costs almost as much as 10 of those, as opposed to just the $70,000 or $100,000 Tesla over the life of the Tesla, because of what you have to do to get to just to build the battery, and then to put the car together. You're still in a standard manufacturing system that uses grease and oil and other oil type byproducts to run the machinery to build the car. Again, the Tesla final product is the only green part of the entire process, because we have to start by digging in the ground. The largest deposit of rare earth minerals is China. We've just found a large deposit in Greenland, which is a plus, I suppose, because I think they're a NATO nation, or at least friendly to NATO nations, and there's not much else going on there. So they're looking forward to the money, to build their infrastructure and whatnot. Our current electric infrastructure, one, isn't safe overall. I mean, it's if it's left to its own devices, it's relatively safe. However, we have a lot of cyberpunks that can, bury into or get into the system and shut it down, which is what they did back east 2 years ago, I think. Close that down for weeks. Cost them, the company, billions of dollars to, one, pay these cyber guys off, and two, to restart the system. That was stupid crazy. I'll have to look that one up for you because I honestly don't remember it. And two, the car doesn't live that long. I mean, if you bought a Honda or Toyota, can't really think of anybody else that I could count on to not think about that car for 200,000 or 300,000 miles. Honda or Toyota. I bought my Civic in 2015. Actually, I bought it in 2019. It was a 2015 lease return. It's still running. It's at 170,000 miles. I don't have any real issues with it. I did have a leak in the transmission, but that was about a $400 fixed job. That's not bad, all things considered. It's got 170,000 miles on it. Same thing with Toyota. They run. They run on gasoline. Toyota has probably one of the largest hybrid fleets in the United States. Ford and GM are moving that way, but only because of California and New York, by saying you're going to have to have a electric vehicle, or only electric vehicles will be sold electric and hybrid vehicles will be sold in the state of California and in the state of New York by 2033. Doesn't say anything about setting up the infrastructure. PG&E, which is our Northern California power and gas, and it's actually Pacific Gas and Electric, um, are undergrounding lines. They're not bolstering their system. They're not. I've got a small power station right next to me. It's actually a what they call a reboot system. Basically, the power coming in this way has lost juice over the span that it runs. Comes into this station. This station zips it back up and sends it back out. That's the short of it. Um, but that station, there's nothing been done to that station. And by 2033, that station is going to have to be 3 times as big and 3 times as powerful, 4 or 5 times as powerful to do what they're asking it to do to support the system. Also, they're going to have to replace a lot of line, and they want to underground it, but they want to pay us. They want us to pay them to underground it, meaning our electric bill is going to go up by like a factor of 3 or 4. It's an amazing number, and the governor has already agreed to it because he can. He's the governor. So then also the bullet train, which is supposed to be, I know I've talked about this before, but it's supposed to be Sacramento, San Francisco, Merced, Fresno, Bakersfield. I think it goes to Barstow, then to Los Angeles. There's a spur that's supposed to run, I think, from LA to Vegas. Why would you do that? And then all the way down to almost San Diego. It can't, because of the way I'm sorry, not engineered the track, because they haven't built, I think we've got a mile of track built. A mile of track. We've been working on this system for 5 years now. But, unions are involved, and, well, union bosses are involved, and that means there's money that's not going to the track, that's going out of the state of California to these guys, and then they're sending it into their pockets. So I'm really sorry. I have a little bit of a headache, mostly because of Governor Newsom. And I know I've been off for a week. Actually, I've been off for, I guess, 2 weeks now, because there's so much going on in the state of California and in the nation that I was kind of overwhelmed. I am ADHD. I know I've talked about that as well, which doesn't mean that I can't do this. It just means that sometimes I get a little overwhelmed and have to step back. And I regret that. And I am sorry, because I know consistency is the way to make it on YouTube. I'm not worried about making it on YouTube. I think I have 40 followers. Wow, right? So anyway, yeah, Governor Newsom says we have $68 billion in debt. Actually, he says we have $38 billion. So he's found a way to hide $30 billion. And that is mostly through just simple accounting tricks. There's a couple of complex ones, but for the most part, they're simple. You're just moving stuff around and saying, oh yeah, we have that now. Or we have to depreciate that, and that takes off of our tax burden. So the bullet train, I'm sorry, I'll get back to that. The bullet train, a mile of track. Over the last 5 years, we've had to go through, I don't know how many EIR reports, which is environmental impact reports. That's what kept us from building anywhere else but Merced in this first term of building. Excuse me, I'm a little thirsty too. So we can't do the things they are telling us we have to do, because it costs, on average, they said it costs like over $200,000 to pull all of your gas fixtures and whatnot and turn it to electric. Once you do that, your electric bill will rise by a factor of 4 or 5 again, because now you don't have a gas water heater, you don't have a gas stove, you don't have gas heating. You have electric. Everything is electric. So right now, the only thing I have in my house that's electric is power for the lights and whatnot, and the pump for the well. We have a well where we live, and the pump is electric. But that's it. I mean, I don't pay a huge well. I don't pay a light electric bill because we have a lot of fans and whatnot plugged into the house. But you know, I don't pay a huge electric bill like I'm going to have to pay by, I think that was 2025. We have to have all these things done. Now a judge has said, no, you can't do that. You can't make these people change everything on a whim without you covering the bill in essence. And state of California says, well, we're not going to cover that bill. That's stupid. We don't have that kind of money. They do. They're not going to spend it. Um, and so I can't do that. I don't have that kind of money laying around. My house is not worth it. I'm certainly not going to, second or third mortgage it just to get electric, which will fail in the summertime on a regular basis. And that's the other thing. Once we get to 2033 and you can only have an electric vehicle, or you can only buy an electric vehicle, you can still buy vehicles that are on the road, but a gas-powered engine will come with quite the price now. And gasoline will go, I mean, gasoline's still, in California, I think I spent $4.14 yesterday, and that's because I went to the 7-Eleven where I get 11 cents off every gallon. And $4.14 is still a stupid high number, even in California. And Governor Newsom, I'm sorry, told you I got a little bit of a headache, but his solution is to offer to give us some money back, but not lower the taxes because they want to raise the taxes on gas. They want to add another $1.12 to a gallon of gas in tax. $1.12 takes up to $5.25 just because of the tax. I don't see how. I honestly do not understand how that seems like a good option for them. They don't need the money. We don't need the money. We have toll roads in California, recent toll roads, and they're variable tolls. So it depends on how much traffic is on the highway and how far you're going in that section. And I found that it doesn't really matter how far you're going in that section because I got a bill on my toll sheet that was $10. And the only tag or the only reader that I hit was the last one in the line before the new set started up because I was coming in from university and their last thing is at Embarcadero, which is the next exit. And I would just tag that one. I did it twice. I think once was for $1, once was for $10. And I wanted to argue the $10. No, what? Nope, you hit it. Your reader, the reader was working, your toll tag worked, blah, blah, blah. And oh my God, that was just a hassle and a half. I finally said, screw it. I just won't do it that way anymore. I'll go around the other way. Nonetheless, we don't need tolls. We pay an exorbitant amount of money in taxes to the state of California for roadways. In our regular tax, in our income tax for California, that tax is in there. Okay? But then we also pay that gas tax. And then we also pay, he wants us to start paying, the governor wants us to start paying a road tax, meaning a mileage tax. That works for the electric cars. Doesn't work for me. I'm already paying a stupid amount of money for gasoline that runs my vehicle. I'm getting my single dollar in taxes. I'm paying like 56 cents a dollar in tax. Might be a little bit higher than that because we have sales tax, which is at 8% or 8.5%. In some places up to 10. I pay a gas tax. I pay a real estate tax. My not my mortgage, but land tax, basically, for where I live. Now, that doesn't go directly to roadways, but some of that money does, or should. And we're paying a stupid amount of money for that. It's insane what we're paying in California for really poor service. Truly poor service. If we are truly the second or third largest economy on the planet, we should be rolling golden, but we're not because we have Democrats who have never seen a tax they didn't love, and could care less about the population of the state of California. We lost over 120,000 people in a 2 or 3 year span, and by losing that amount of people, we lost a seat in the House, in the U.S. House. We lost a seat, and it looks like we might do that again in 10 years, or actually, I guess now at this point in 6 years, when they do the thing again, census. So I'm going to be part of that exodus, by the way. If I have to ride a bicycle over the Sierra Nevadas, I'm going to be part of that exodus. I can't handle this state anymore. A buddy of mine, and I told a buddy of mine where we're going. He goes, "Oh, that's great. Come on, because we just turned this state blue." It's mostly medium purple, because on the eastern side, there's like three big cities that run the eastern side. Uh, and then on the western side of the state, it's very conservative. So I think currently, I would say that state is in a state of flux because it can go either way during every election cycle. During every election cycle, it could go either way. So once you get away from the cities, things change and they settle down and they mellow out a little bit, and people seem to have a lot better idea of what the Constitution means and what's the Bill of Rights means. Uh, but we'll see. At any rate, so yeah, Governor Newsom is trying to. I honestly, I don't understand. I honestly do not. I'm not sure that he can explain it to me, even if he wanted to try, but which I'm certain he doesn't. But I just don't know that he can explain to me why we need to raise the tax on gasoline so high, why we need to get rid of gasoline-powered vehicles, because that's part of their uh, climate neutral shit. And I say shit because it is. Because I've spoken to a bunch of scientists just because I can. I'm an investigator, and that's what I do when I'm not doing this. And I've spoken to them because I want to understand better. Because if it is truly us that is causing this, what are the numbers and where are they coming from and how are they deciding what numbers do what? Or is it just what the Earth is going to do on its cyclical lifespan? Right? Are we coming into another hot age, dinosaur level heat? Or is this just a blip? And can we wait to find out before we make stupid changes? And that's the other thing. See, when they get something in their mind, especially Democrats, when they get a thing in their mind, they don't want to wait. Let's do it now. Let's get it done now. Let's make money. Republicans are not any less willing to do that kind of thing, generally. But I am unwilling to throw away my entire life as a human being because, oh, greenhouse effect and weather changes. And I don't know if you guys saw this recently, but like this last week, actually this last weekend, there has been the biggest storms from southern Texas across to New Hampshire and taking out the entire South and the North. So New York is under several feet of snow. Minnesota is under several feet of snow. Buffalo couldn't play their game on Sunday or Saturday because their field was covered in snow. So they rescheduled it. The NFL rescheduled it to Monday. So now there's two Monday night games. I know some of you don't care about that. That's fine. But what you should care about is them telling us, oh, it's going to be super hot. Okay. Going to be super cold. Okay, I got clothes for that too. If there is truly something we can do about that, that's a different story. I don't think there is. I don't believe that there is something that we can truly do to stop the Earth from rotating on its axis. And I think that's what we have. I think that's where they want to go. We It can't get that hot. We can't survive that heat. It can't get that cold. We can't survive that cold. Oh, well, it's the earth. There isn't anything we can truly do about it. And making us dig up rare earth minerals using monstrous diesel powered equipment that just belch diesel clouds of smoke near the North Pole, the North Pole in Greenland, because that's where the other big deposit is. The first big deposit is in China, the largest deposit is in China, and they don't give a damn about what we're saying about climate change, not one iota. Governor Newsom went over there to talk to him about climate change. I'm sure Xi Jinping just fucking laughed in his face. Oh, you're a funny white man. You should go home. So yeah, that was a horrible Chinese accent. So it wasn't a Chinese accent. Nonetheless, we can't allow these people to dictate immediate responses because they don't look any further into the future. They never have. They never will. And I don't say that just to be loud. Look at history. Read history. Watch history. Listen to history. And find out that when these people do these things, it just screws everything up for the rest of the several years. And they go, oh, I guess we were wrong. Little late now. Little fucking late now. I don't want to deal with that. I want them to stop. Stop playing games. I want, sorry about that. My phone fell over. I want the scientists to stop playing games because they're just arguing back and forth. And they're arguing semantics mostly and theory. There's nothing rock solid other than we've gone up a couple of degrees centigrade. I think it's centigrade. A couple of degrees. Not even 2 degrees yet. And I imagine it is quite a bit in the ocean. I think there was a small section of ocean off of Florida's eastern coast that was like 88 degrees for like a week and then back to normal. And that's something that we have to pay more attention to as human beings, as people that want to live free. And that's the other thing. We're not living free, and they are not allowing us to live free. Do you know why? Because then there's no control. They are control freaks from the word go. They don't have anything. They don't have any noise. They don't have any smarts. They don't have anybody really backing them up. They've chosen a handful of scientists, and that's the one we're going with. That's the important thing. That's the one we're going with. And then they throw everything else away. If you disagree, they could just remove you from the platforms, from the social media platforms, or from the earth. Just disappear. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares about me, certainly. Why would they? I'm nobody. I'm not a governor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a representative or a president. These people just need to be stopped. And if you know somebody who is a constitutional attorney, please give them my number or send them to this page because I really want to talk to them. I was just watching Tim Pool. No, not Tim Pool. The constitutional lawyer in West Virginia talking about we can sue local and state actors and politicians for not doing their job or for ignoring the Constitution or for writing, passing, and implementing laws that are anti-constitutional. You know that? Can't do it to the federal guys for some reason. I'm not sure why that is, really. But you can to the local and state-run guys. So if you know somebody, please give them this and tell them that I want to sue them. I want to sue them badly. I want to get them out of office. I don't need any money from them. I mean, the attorney gets his fee, but just $1. That's all I would ask for, $1. Because I have to ask for a monetary amount. So $1. Let somebody else figure out if I deserve any more money. But you ask for $1 and nobody pitches a fit. And get them out of office. Because the longer they're in office, the worse this gets for us. 2033 has to stop now. Has to stop in 2024. Has to. Or it will kill the state, and then it'll kill the nation, and then it'll kill the planet. On that note, always remember, even a fluffy bunny has teeth and claws for a reason. You guys have a great day. Live long, fight hard, win the day. Let's make it happen, okay? See ya!